In the early 900s, long before the village of Eldridge became a place of whispers and fear, a young man named Lucian lived in the prosperous town of Varenthia. This quaint settlement, nestled among rolling hills and fertile valleys, thrived under the warm sun and rich soil. Its vibrant markets bustled with life, and laughter filled the air as townsfolk celebrated the bounties of the land. Yet for Lucian, the life of a humble farmer's son felt like a gilded cage. From a young age, he was different, intensely curious and restless. While others accepted their fates, Lucian dreamed of greatness. He spent his days wandering the woods, poring over ancient texts in the village library and listening to tales of heroes and legends that spoke of power and immortality. As he grew older, those dreams morphed into an obsession. He yearned for a life beyond the mundane, seeking knowledge that lay hidden in the shadows. One fateful evening, as the harvest festival filled Varenthia with joy, Lucian's heart raced with an inexplicable longing. The townsfolk danced and celebrated, but he felt out of place among them. That was when he encountered a mysterious figure cloaked in darkness, an older man named Valerius. With piercing eyes that seemed to hold centuries of secrets, Valerius approached Lucian, sensing the restless fire within him, and offered him great power and immortality. Drawn in by the promise of power, Lucian felt his ambition swell. Without fully understanding the implications, he accepted Valerius's offer. He underwent a horrific transformation that would forever sever him from his former life, becoming a vampire, a creature of darkness, forever cursed to wander the night. At first, Lucian reveled in his new existence. He discovered an array of abilities, enhanced strength, speed, and an alluring charm that drew others to him. He flitted from town to town, indulging in the excesses of his newfound power, but with each passing year, the weight of his choice grew heavier. He witnessed the devastation left in his wake, the lives he had taken and the hearts he had broken. Haunted by guilt and longing for redemption, Lucian sought a way to confront the darkness within. After centuries of wandering, he found himself drawn to Eldridge, a picturesque village surrounded by dense forests and mountains. There was something about it that called to him, a sense of peace that he hadn't felt in ages. Among its charming cottages and friendly faces, he sensed a flicker of hope. It was here he encountered Elara, a kind-hearted healer with a gentle spirit. Her compassion and grace captivated him, stirring feelings he thought long buried. As he watched her from the shadows, he felt a mix of longing and guilt. Perhaps in her, he could find the redemption he sought, a chance to reclaim a piece of his lost humanity. One fateful night, as the villagers celebrated another harvest festival, an ominous presence descended upon Eldridge. A monstrous beast, twisted and feral, emerged from the forest, drawn by the scent of fear and blood. Chaos erupted as the creature attacked, and Lucian rushed to intervene, battling the beast with everything he had. But amid the fray, tragedy struck. Elara, brave and selfless, rushed to help a child in danger. The beast seized the opportunity, lunging at her with savage ferocity. Lucian's heart dropped as he watched the creature's claws tear into her flesh, and he fought even harder to protect the villagers. In a desperate bid to save her, Lucian finally defeated the beast, but the damage was done. Elara lay on the ground, her life slipping away, and in her final moments she succumbed to the darkness within. Lucian watched in horror as she transformed, her eyes flashing open, now filled with an otherworldly hunger. As the villagers gathered, they saw what had become of their beloved healer. Fear rippled through the crowd. Whispers of a curse spread like wildfire, and they turned on her, determined to destroy the creature they believed was now a monster. Lucian felt the weight of their fear, the reality of the darkness that now enveloped Elara. But he refused to let her face this alone, for he knew all she needed was a mentor, like what he had in Valerius so long ago. Lucian quickly came to Ilara's aid and swept her away, leaving Eldridge behind. As they ventured deeper into the woods, Lucian felt the weight of his choices pressing down on him. He had saved Ilara from the villagers' wrath, but now he had to help her navigate the dark waters of her new existence. They camped beneath the stars, the cool night air filled with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant creatures. Ilara was quiet, her eyes reflecting the turmoil within her, wondering what she'll become. Days turned into weeks as Lucian taught Ilara about her new abilities, the heightened senses, the strength and the hunger. They practiced together, honing her control over the instinct to feed. Lucian shared his own experiences, the struggles he faced after his transformation, and the hope that had driven him to seek redemption. As they spent time together, a bond formed between them, forged in shared pain and understanding. Ilara's spirit, though marked by darkness, shone through as she learned to wield her new powers with grace. They laughed, shared stories, and found comfort in one another. But as the nights passed, Lucian couldn't shake the feeling that their sanctuary wouldn't last. The villagers would not simply forget about Ilara. They would seek to destroy the monster they believed she had become. The threat of Valerius and other dark forces still loomed over them, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. One night, while they were practicing in a secluded glade, Lucian sensed a disturbance in the air. Figures emerged. Hunters from Eldridge, armed with torches and weapons, their faces set with grim determination. As Lucian pleaded for their understanding, the mob pressed closer, torches flickering ominously in the night. Ilara, feeling the tension, stepped forward, her eyes filled with both fear and defiance. It was then a hunter, driven by fear and anger, lunged forward with a sharpened stake. In a swift, brutal motion, the weapon pierced Ilara's heart, and her eyes widened in shock. She staggered back, a pained gasp escaping her lips as the light in her eyes began to dim. Then her body turned to ash. Lucian looked up, fury igniting in his heart. The darkness he had fought so hard to suppress surged within him, stronger than ever. As he rose to his feet, his eyes blazed with a promise of vengeance. With the loss of Ilara fueling his rage, Lucian gave into the darkness and mercilessly slaughtered the hunters. In a whirlwind of shadows, Lucian vanished into the night, and he vowed to return to Eldridge not as a protector, but as a harbinger of vengeance. With each step he took into the darkness, he knew he would hunt them down one by one until the last of the villagers were dead. The bond he and Ilara had formed would only strengthen his resolve, and as the moon shone down on the path ahead, Lucian embraced the darkness fully, ready to unleash his wrath on those who had wronged him. In the heart of Eldridge, fear would soon reign once more. The villagers, who had once been so quick to judge, would learn the true price of their hatred and fear. Lucian's quest for revenge had begun, and the shadows would be his allies in a reckoning that would shake the very foundations of the village they had built.